Hey guys, so we just got done watching episode 2 of season 8, and we're just going to talk about it. We're going to start doing like basically like a live reaction video as we're watching the episode, and then like a recap video immediately after. So make sure to always like check in and take it and keep your eyes out for that. Anyways, wow, fucking great episode. Uh, I really like this episode and the last one. This season is off to a great start. This one had a lot of action and a lot of really interesting, thought-provoking things. The first thing, I'll just say something, and then like you can talk about whichever point you want after. The first point that I just wanted to like point out that I thought was really interesting was the way they illustrated the internal struggle that Morgan was having. I think I said in like another video that like Morgan I have a very complicated relationship with Morgan.
I like Morgan.
He went from being like one of my favorite characters to one of my least favorite characters, and now back to one of my favorite characters. I keep changing my opinion of him because he's so goddamn fickle about everything that he does. He was like killing people left and right tonight. It was crazy. Full beast mode. Full beast mode, and I just thought it was really creative the way that they kind of like summed up all the arguments that he's had with Rick in terms of like his differing philosophy on whether or not you should kill somebody, all within the moment. Like they kind of, I really liked how they like had kind of like a flashback to a conversation that Rick had with them, like in not only last season but the season before that, to like illustrate how he was thinking. That was great.
The only thing I'd say about that is it should have been more of a juxtaposition between Rick and the Cheese Man, and the death of that Kingdom kid who he had taken a shine to. Like it should have been more like flashes of. I
agree.
All life's like a cut off. All life is precious into Rick's kill them all. Like like some sort of. But I do like a lot of the. There was a lot of artsy shots going on in this episode, and I think all of the people who got close-ups are the people who obviously are not going to die. Aaron included, his boyfriend not so much.
Yeah, I mean, I think Eric's going to die. I mean, I think probably what they're doing is, because we found out that Jesus is gay, like, last season, so
we did?
Yeah, he had that conversation with Maggie, like where he was talking about all the things that he wasn't able to do or whatever, and he like said boyfriends.
He did?
Yeah.
I don't recall that at all.
Really? No. Oh yeah, there's like a whole scene about that, and she like kind of subtly says back to him like, "Oh, well, you should try all those things," or something like that. It was like very subtle.
I guess he'll be trying it with Aaron.
I think
grieving Aaron.
I think that's what's going to happen. I think that they had that conversation to foreshadow Eric's death, and probably it's going to be Aaron and Jesus. So yeah, Eric's going to die. Who else is going to die?
Tobin.
Yeah, I think probably so. Wow, Rick found a baby.
Maybe Jerry.
Jerry?
Well, Ezekiel keeps talking about, we won't lose anyone! And then he's going to lose his big teddy bear, Jerry.
Man, I don't know how to think.
And then Shiva will roar in sadness and then, like, lick his face. But it'll be too late because he's dead.
Ezekiel, I have a complicated relationship with Ezekiel, too.
And I don't have anything against Jerry. I just think they're going to kill. Like, they're going to kill people whose names we know. Like Eric. Or who look familiar, like that dude who was initially captured at Hilltop with the who Rick, the guy who just got shot who was with Morgan, that dude who was in season 6, who helped with the raid on the initial Savior attack, the one who was gonna help get Gregory's head, but then that plan didn't happen because Rick stabbed that guy.
Yeah, I don't remember what his name is.
Exactly.
But, yeah.
I think he's gonna die though.
Yeah.
Cannon father.
So Ezekiel, I'm glad that like they have the wherewithal to throw in a couple moments of like him speaking.
Being regular?
Yeah, because like if they didn't do that, it would be really difficult for me to take his character seriously. Like the stuff that he says is so ridiculous. Like he's so theatrical that I'm just like, what?
Fake it till you make it, baby.
Yeah, like the fact that he said, which also, by the way, him and Carol are totally going to get it on. It's not going to be Carol and Morgan.
I think Carol is going to tend to Morgan's wounds, and then something will happen.
I I mean, he only opens up and shows his like normal self to her.
Because she does the same
And
crap.
but that's exactly why they're going to get together, though. They have that in common. They're both like incognito, and they both are playing roles. And I mean, you just don't like the idea of it, but you know it's going to happen. They've been setting it up for a year now.
But they've been setting up Carol and Morgan for the last couple of years.
I never saw anything that made me think that.
He always saw through her. And then she stopped killing because he got in her head, so she ran away. And then he started killing to save her life.
I don't have any.
They have symmetry.
It doesn't seem like they really have like much chemistry, though. It seems like her and Ezekiel, they like.
She put Morgan in her little away cabin to keep him safe. She knew he was going buck wild crazy after he killed that Kingdom guy.
You mean the other way around? Carol went into the cabin.
No, Carol put Morgan in her cabin. After Morgan killed that guy from the Kingdom because he set up that whole plan.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
And he was like walking around like a caged animal, and she was like, "No, Morgan, stay here where it's safe." And it's like, oh, and at the end of last season, when they went on attack with the Saviors, like they shared this moment, and they're just smiling at each other and shit. Like, come on. I mean, I think it could go either way, but I think it would be remiss for it to not be Morgan because they have so many things. They've been like side by side for a while now. I mean, not that I actively ship them, but it's just, it seems to make the most sense. Not that Ezekiel doesn't make sense.
It just seems to me like it's going to be her and Ezekiel. I don't know. You could be right. I mean, all the things that you just said, I didn't notice. So maybe like they were just like too subtle for me to notice, or maybe I just didn't care. I don't know. Maybe, but like I don't know. It just seems I feel like they have more in common, like her and Ezekiel, than like her and Morgan. I love Morgan, but like I just don't think that's going to happen. What else happened this episode? Rick found a baby.
He killed the daddy first, presumably.
Rick is becoming like the Michael Jackson of the apocalypse. He's just going to adopt a baby from like every camp that he overruns.
That is not what Michael Jackson did. You're talking about Brangelina.
Oh, was that them?
Yeah.
No, but he said that he wanted to do that, though.
He didn't, though. He didn't adopt.
But he said he wanted to.
But if you're talking about adopting kids,
come on, you guys get the joke, right? Come on. He stated publicly that he wanted to do that. It was like every country or every continent, something like that. I don't recall
that quote at all.
It was something like that.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Right
I'll put the link in the comments. I've seen it before. So he's just adopting kids left and right. And actually, you know what? Big shout out to our buddy Greg, the previous Ultimate fan before us. He put something hilarious on Twitter, saying that like he was like, Rick's already raising somebody else's kid, one of somebody else's kids. Why not another? Kudos, Greg. That was hilarious. That was kind of sad though. The moment where he realized that he just murdered the kid's father.
I don't know why the dude just didn't be like, Grace, my baby.
Well, I think he said, we haven't rewatched the episode, we've only seen it once, but like, did he say, I think what he thought was that, did that guy say Grace as they were fighting? Okay, so the baby's name was Gracie, so he misunderstood.
No, and then Rick was like, is that where the guns are? And he was like, Grace! But that was not where the guns were.
Yeah,
it was Grace's bedroom.
Yeah, okay, so that was what it was. He thought that Grace was the wife. And therefore, like, another savior who was evil, and therefore a threat. He didn't realize that Grace was, like, a fucking baby. So, oh boy, now Rick's got a really awkward situation on his hands.
Maybe Jesus and Aaron can raise it.
That would make sense. They can adopt the baby, the other baby. Rick's got too many babies.
Rick will bring home that baby, and he'll be like, I'm not ready for this. Yeah. And then Michonne will be like, I'm pregnant though, you can't take any baby.
Or he'll walk in the door with the baby and Michonne will be like, another one?
She won't be like that. Carl will be like that. Seriously, Dad?
Yeah, so, I mean, like, oh god, that's going to be an awkward conversation, which we'll never see in the show, but it's like, he's going to have to tell that kid one day that he killed her dad.
I wouldn't.
He can make up whatever story he wants.
It would serve no purpose.
But he definitely. So I mean, I'm sure that kid is going to be like part of the show. There's no way Rick is going to let a baby starve to death and just like walk away. There's no way.
He'd just be like, I found you.
Yeah. I
love
mean,
you.
so we're going to have another baby on
I
the show.
love you.
Thank you. You guys see Robot Chicken Walking Dead special? Oh my god. It was so messed up.
Oh, well, we got like another minute.
Another minute?
Yeah.
About what?
This episode. Just trying to
Okay.
type.
Okay. What else happened this episode? Was that about it?
Bunch of close-ups.
Bunch of close-ups. Really good stuff.
Tara's all Michael Corleone now. Like, kill them all. Gun drop. I don't blame her. I don't blame Jesus either. I get where they're both coming from. And I was saying, like, while we were watching it, like, not every soldier is fighting for their own purpose. There are some real shitty human beings with the saviors, but not all of them are bad apples. Like, long-haired dude, Morgan totally should have shot him in the fucking face. He would have had it coming. But that's not true for all the saviors.
That just jogged my memory of something that I did want to talk about. So, the quote, my mercy prevails over my wrath. That theme is starting to come up a lot in this season. Like, I think that
clearly
theme
applies to Jesus.
And Tara, right? Which is going to prevail, the mercy or the wrath.
Well, Tara's wrath is...
She's the wrath, he's the mercy, right? And then, like, it's happening, like, all over the place. Like, Morgan's wrath is now prevailing, and then Rick's wrath takes out the dad, but now his mercy has to prevail with the kid.
I think
that's why they opened up the season with that quote.
And I'll just say this. I think it's interesting that Tara kind of fell back when Jesus was adamant about taking hostages.
Yeah.
Because Tara told him, been like, man, I don't work for you. Pow, 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 pow.
Yeah.
And Jesus would have stood there like, oh, no. She shot them all.
That's for Herbert from Family Guy.
Sorry.
Oh no! Yeah, so like I think that's the reason why the first episode was named Mercy, and the reason why the first shot of the episode is a close up of Rick's eyes as he's like kind of like crying and sort of like meditative, and then later on,
who did you lose, Rick?
He utters that phrase. I think that is going to be like the theme of this season is like mercy or wrath.
All right, quick predictions for next week's ep.
Morales. God, we didn't talk about that. Okay.
I think he's going to let Rick go.
Yeah, well, so I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was like an editing error in terms of the previews at the end
Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
maybe.
At the end of last episode, they said scenes from the next episode of The Walking Dead. They showed a clip that was actually not in tonight's episode, and it was of Rick holding his gun, casually walking down the street with like the blood on his face after the fight that he got into with Morales. They made they made a mistake with the editing, so that gives it away that obviously he gets out of the thing with Morales.
I don't think he just gets out of it. I think Morales lets him go.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
They're gonna have
There's
more
no way they
dialogue.
brought him back after 6 years, 8 years after just to kill him again.
Well, Morales is he's gonna have some monologue about, fighting for what's right and blah blah blah, and then he's gonna put the gun down. Like, get the hell out of here, Rick.
They'll have a deep conversation and then they'll kiss and make up.
Yeah. No, they won't make up. They'll part their separate ways. And then Morales probably say something. Next time I see you, I'll have to kill you. And Rick will be like, right.
Or Morales will come enjoy the group.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. All right.
Alrighty. If you guys like what we have to say, go ahead and follow us on Instagram at RLRashone. Also, Facebook.com/TheLivingRashone.
Yeah.
YouTube.com/Jill Roby. And also keep your eyes peeled for coming soon our blog, thelivingrashone.com.
And other goodies.
Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys soon.